So that may be what's coming. Andy Puzder is policy advisor for America First Policies. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good
Andy.
to be here, Martha.
You said, that this idea, because the president asked his trade representative, Mr. Lighthizer, for a package of tariffs against China. They came back with a $30 billion package. He said, no, that's not enough. I want a bigger package. And he wants to cut the trade deficit by $100 billion with China. He's had this in mind, I think, for about 25 years.
Yeah, he has. And look, the Chinese are finally talking to us. You've got decades of America's trading partners beating up on us by subsidizing companies to put our companies out of business, using trade and non-trade barriers, stealing our intellectual property. Now you've got a president, he's got to come back with something strong. Other presidents have said you shouldn't take our intellectual property, you shouldn't subsidize.
Yeah,
nothing happened.
That works out really well.
This guy came in with a hammer. Not only is China negotiating with us, but I was in the green room while I'm watching across the bottom of the TV, watching your show. It said, Merkel, Chancellor Merkel, has now said the EU should negotiate with the United States about these tariffs before it takes retaliatory action. Well, of course they should.
Fascinating thing, right?
We're the world's largest customer. Who do you not want to offend? Your largest customer. You made a great
statement. You said this is the kind of thing that scares the hell out of academia and politicians, but business people go, yeah, this is a good opening salvo, right?
Well, look, if you were in a negotiation with Donald Trump, you'd expect something like this at the beginning. I think it scares people that grow up in politics or that write articles about economics. I think it scares them. But look, if you're a business person, you know what this guy's doing, and he's going to come out with better. Look, even NAFTA, when we've now given exemptions to Canada and Mexico while we renegotiate NAFTA. Now, do you think that puts us in a better position to negotiate or a worse position?
Absolutely.
Obviously better. This is all very smart.
All right. So what do you think about the selection of Larry Kudlow, who has, obviously was in the Reagan administration, been around a long time? He was not on board with the tariff question. He seems to be on board with what the president wants to do with China now. Is there going to be sort of a good give and take and tension on economic policy between President Trump and Larry Kudlow?
Yeah, Larry Kudlow is a great guy, first of all. He's just a really, really good guy. And I think the president wants people who will do what he directs them to do. But before he gives the direction, he wants to hear both sides. And I think Larry's going to speak up. I think Larry will do his job, but he won't hold back from telling the president what he thinks. I was involved early in the campaign. Steve Moore and Larry Kudlow, Art Laffer, were all helping the president with tax policy, which turned out great. And I think that may be why he went to Larry. That was such a successful program for Republicans and for the president.
Yeah, well, some of the discussion is that he's trying to surround himself with yes men.
Yeah, Larry Kudlow is not a yes man. Even a week ago, he was saying, I like trade, I don't like tariffs. Now, obviously, he had discussions with the president. Maybe now he has a better understanding of what the president intends to do.
In terms of this
trade.
As a negotiation tactic.
Yes, yes. It's only a tactic if the other side knows you'll do it. So I think Trump will do it if he's pushed, but they don't want to push him that far. We have $500 billion trade deficit with the world. We're the last country anybody wants to offend, particularly Germany or China. They're not going to do that.
A piece today in Bloomberg talking about how Amazon's bottomless appetite became corporate America's nightmare, that it is flat out the most terrifying company in the world with the breadth of what they are involved in now. Are you terrified of Amazon?
Not at all. I think Amazon's great. I love what they're doing to other companies. They're really forcing them to innovate. You can compete with Amazon if you innovate and create. Look what they're doing to Walmart. Walmart has much greater retail sales, but Walmart is changing the way it does business because of Amazon. If the government comes in and tries to regulate Amazon, it will restrict that innovation, that creativity. You're not going to have the same kind of drive in the market. They do need to be careful about antitrust laws, particularly vertical. They're talking about replacing FedEx and UPS. They got to be careful.
All right. Andy Puzder, always good to see you.
Great to see you.
Great
Thank
guest.
you.
Good to see you tonight.